guys, welcome to another episode of the Anime Bros. Today we're gonna be kicking it off by talking about school days. Um, I don't even know what to say about this one. I thought this one was like very sad, and then the ending was like very sinister and dark, and I didn't even see the ending coming. I actually like called you uh just to give you my initial thoughts before I even had finished the show. I had two episodes left, and then you were like, "Oh, well, you gotta check out those last two episodes." And yeah, those last two episodes, I did not see any of that stuff coming at all.
I mean, now I would say when I was rewatching it, I actually there was hints. There was definitely hints throughout the episodes that you knew that you could have seen that it was coming. Like when
Which
you
part?
mentioned, what was that?
Which part could you see coming?
Remember that part when you were like, "Oh, I hope what's her name,
I was
Konohana."
Yeah, I was hoping like Katsura was gonna get her revenge somehow, but I didn't know she was gonna get revenge like that.
Hey, look, you want her to take an in, she took him out. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. She went out and she got what was hers. She got her revenge. Was there what could have been done any better way than how she did it?
Yeah, I would have liked it better if she didn't, like, you could see like in her eyes they zoomed in on her and she was like dead. She looked like she wasn't even alive. I would have preferred if she just started going out with that funny guy, and then Makoto or Ito came back and like was begging for her to come back, and then she was like, "Nah." I would have thought that would have been getting like some revenge. Like, you want me now? Well, you can't have me. This other guy's treating me better, but I didn't see that coming at all. Because I don't think she I mean, I guess she got some sort of revenge, but she didn't really get revenge on Ito.
I mean, she didn't. You wanted her to get revenge on Ito, but she
Yeah,
actually got revenge. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like
she got revenge on Sekai, but I don't really think it was her fault that any of that stuff happened.
it wasn't. But Sekai did. Spoiler alert: Sekai did like um
Well, we always spoil stuff. We're like reviewing the show pretty much.
but she did hit the she did hit the killing blow. She's the one that was like, I, I will say that like 45% of it's her fault.
Sekai?
Yeah.
I mean, she told Ito like, "Yo, if we're gonna keep doing this, you need to break up with her. You need to break up with Katsura if we're gonna keep fooling around." And he said that he did it, and he definitely did not. That was the main issue. Is like, even when they would like meet each other in the hallway, he'd be like, "Oh, I gotta run off. Go home without me." Like, he had so many opportunities just to be like, "Hey, you know, um, we're not together anymore." And even I feel like it was definitely towards the second half of the show. It could have been like episode 8 or something. He did like eventually be like, I don't love you anymore. But
That's when her eyes took on that look when he was like, "Hey, look, we're done." When he was standing outside taking out the garbage with Setsune, when he was like, "Yo, we're not together anymore." The next scene was her like, her eyes had like keeled over.
yeah, but he still I mean, yeah, I guess he broke up with her right there. But like, he should have done it way earlier.
He should have done it way earlier. I mean, the majority of it is his fault. Uh,
And then Katsura should have just accepted it at that point, and instead of being in denial. Like, I was cheering for her, but like, I don't like how, I don't know. Like, I was cheering for her, but she was just spineless. And then even up till the end, she was still all about him. She was like carrying his head around. I
oh,
wanted
dude.
I wanted her to get over him, and she never did.
But when I
I,
actually first watched this, I don't think it's online now. When I first watched this show, it was early enough where I was able to find the unedited version of it. At the end when she like looks inside the bag and it's just like black.
yeah,
Well, in the unedited version or the the one that's not censored, you actually see his head inside the purse. I don't think you can find the uncensored version. It used to be on YouTube, but that's no longer the case. But with good reason why you don't want that.
I
That
mean,
back
they
then,
showed him get stabbed like 20, 30 times. I don't see how that's any worse
like,
than showing a decapitated head.
I mean, it's like saying like, I mean, you see that in Berserk. You see in a lot of anime, you get stabbed a bunch of times, but it just having like a decapitated head inside of a purse, just like I don't know that they censored it, so you can't find them anymore. But yeah, she was carrying around his head. She needed a memento. She was like, hey, look, you have to look him in his face and accept what you've done. You stabbed him.
He treated Katsura like way worse. Like she was mad at Sekai, but like, dude, that guy treated you like shit. I don't know why you're mad at anybody else other than him.
But when you think about it, though, because you see it a lot over like social media and stuff. You see like the girl getting mad at the other girl that the guy cheated on when she should only be mad at the guy. But very prevalent in people's lives. You see like, oh, I can't believe you cheated with my boyfriend. You should like never go near him. And it's like, yo, it's clearly the guy's fault. And the girls are in denial. They're like, yeah, he gets a pass though. You should know that he was with another girl.
So you can be mad at both of them, but
You can, but I'm just saying that like even in I see it like all the time where the girl is more mad at the other girl than the guy. It's completely like they should be mad at the guy that cheated, but for some reason they think it's logical to be mad at the third party instead of the person they're in a relationship with. So I think that's like a direct parallel with what actually happens in real life. But to Katsura's point, she was very secure. She never really had a boyfriend. No one was ever interested in her. She got joked because she had a bigger chest when she was growing up. So she was already pretty insecure. And Itou, who was like this nice guy, showed interest in her, cared enough to learn more about her.
his character development was crazy, dude. If you're like you're saying, yeah, he was the nice guy. He was heartless, dude. Like he might have been nice at the start of the show, but as soon as he got some, it like
I
he
mean,
was.
boyfriends, right? Maybe that's how some of these guys were like in high school. They're all nice, but then they finally get some, and it's like, oh damn, I want some more. So they're like, what can I do to get some more? Um,
It was like he couldn't go without it.
yeah, because
Well,
it was that
at
it
the
was
end, he's like going through my phone. He's like, "Dang, like someone's got to be down."
they turned into a typical fuckboy. So I like that realistic character development that they gave his character. But I mean, it all started with that special training with Sekai. Like once he got that special training, he was like, oh, so this is what it feels like to touch a girl. Then it just started going downhill,
Yeah,
which is also probably why Sekai I think gets a little bit more of the blame. Like she started him off with that special training, which catapulted him into wanting to do more and more with other girls.
I mean, like she shouldn't have done that, I guess, if she was gonna try and maintain that friendship with Katsura. But I mean, still, like Ito should have just like broke up with the other girl, and then
He should have. But my thing is though, like, how are you going to meet this guy on the first day of school? I guess there was like really the first time communicating with him when they sat next to each other in class. You pick his phone and you see he has a charm of another girl, and then like you have a crush on him. So
well, they knew
instead
each
of
other from junior high, right?
what's that?
They knew each other from like middle school because they showed a flashback of Kiori or whatever.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
I don't think they were in the same class because they
yeah, but
were.
she was showing Kiori like, hey, that boy that was nice to you, I have pictures of him on my phone.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I mean they knew of each other in like junior high, but like from my understanding, he was
you're saying
what's
that
his
was
name?
like their first time talking, really?
Yeah, it was like the first time talking, like kind of like the first time interacting. Because they kept asking like, oh, well, they kept saying they spend a lot of time with each other with each other now that they're in the same class. So my guess is like they knew of each other in junior high, but he was really friends with that other girl. Was her name Kiori?
Yes, that's the girl that you like, right?
Yes. So there was another girl. Oh, Katu.
I don't remember which girl that. Otome.
Yeah, ultimately the girl that dragged him into like the secret room.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's the one that he was friends with in junior high, and she had like a crush on him. They were pretty close, and they got put in separate classes in high school. And then Itou got put in the class with obviously Sekai. Um, but like, yo, it's like really your first time interacting with them. You see like another girl on his phone, like I guess as a charm, and instead of being like, hey, look, maybe it's possible that he can like other girls, or he doesn't really know of this girl. Like when he told her that he had a crush on her, he was like, "But I'm fine with just looking at her." That means he hasn't even had a conversation with this girl. You still got a chance. No, instead you want to befriend the girl he has a crush on and then get them to hook up, knowing you have a crush on them. She went above and beyond when she didn't even have to go that far from the very beginning. She could have just kept talking to him, and he probably could have fell for her instead, like he ended up doing anyways.
I mean, yeah. I don't know why she did that though. I think a lot of these characters were flawed. Like I was asking you the other day who your favorite character was before I had even finished the show, and I was telling you like I still don't after finishing it, I don't know if I could pick a character because they're all so flawed.
Yeah, they are pretty flawed. I think Setsuna is the least flawed out of all of them. Uh,
Yeah, I might have to agree. I might have to pick her because, but I still feel like she had a pretty big flaw in that she's like, all right, Sakai, she's my best friend. Ito's out here cheating on her. He's really cheating on everybody, but he's like I guess they were together at the time. So then Itou hooks up with Otome in like the gym closet or wherever, and he goes up. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to France or whatever." This is what Kiori said or Setsuna. So she's like, "You gotta stop cheating on Sekai, and I'll let you hook up with me if you're willing to stop cheating on her. So you need to stop cheating on my girl by cheating on her with me one last time."
it's like it's like your parents saying, "Hey, look, Matt, you gotta eat your vegetables." But here's what I'll do: I'll let you eat this last ice cream sandwich if you eat your vegetables from now on. And obviously, you're gonna want more ice cream sandwiches, but that is an incentive for you to eat your vegetables from now on and be loyal to your vegetables.
But I feel like it's nice. Like you're giving me a taste of something delicious and telling me never to taste it again. You should just not. You should be like, "Yo, you're done. You're done with this."
Nah,
You don't give a
how often does quitting cold turkey work? Because there's been studies when you try to quit cold turkey smoking cigarettes, doesn't work. When you try to quit cold turkey when you're an alcoholic, doesn't work. So you need a gradual decrease, in like
but
getting
it
because
wasn't even a gradual decrease. It was just like he was just hitting that in stride like he did all the other girls after.
no, I'm saying though, it was supposed to be
That
the
wasn't
same.
even a speed bump. He just
No, it
rolled
wasn't.
through. He rolled through her, and then rolled through Otome again, and then rolled through all of Otome's friends, which I thought that was kind of funny. Like all three of those girls showed up at his apartment.
Hell yeah.
So it was, I felt like that scene was so funny because they were like, "Yeah, we heard about you, so we wanted to see if it was true for ourselves." I mean,
And then one of them even had a boyfriend.
yeah, that was also funny. Uh, yo, he was pulling. If he was pulling, he should have continued pulling.
I didn't even know like why like how he was pulling though. It didn't seem like he was doing anything. These girls were just coming up to him, and he's like, "Oh, okay, you like me now? All right."
To be fair though, what was her name? Ultimate liked him in junior high. I felt like that was kind of like, well, there was hints of that because there was bullying
Katsura.
Katsura
Yeah.
because one of the ones of the group liked him and wanted to be with him. So I guess that was brought to like exactly which one of the girls liked him. Uh, and like he just had the juice since he was in junior high, and that continued. Uh, uh, but to be fair though, just like he didn't officially break up with Katsura, he didn't officially start dating Sekai. Like they were like doing all this stuff behind the back, but there was never an official like, hey, look, we're now boyfriend and girlfriend.
I
was
think it's
implied.
I think it's pretty grimy when you tell another person that you love them, but you're just gonna go smash a bunch of other people as well.
Oh yeah. That's definitely grimy. That's like it's hard to say like E2 being your favorite character because then you're like, damn. I mean his morals were like he had no morals when it came to girls, and that's not even start talking about his best friend Sawanaga. Like I mean that dude was grimy. He was going after like he had no problem being the rebound or being like the second choice between all the girls that was liking him. Like he was dead after Katsura from the very beginning.
Yeah, but I feel like he wouldn't have. I think he would have stuck with Katsura if he was given the option.
He would have. He would have.
Yeah, so I don't feel like he's as grimy.
But I mean,
I think he just wanted it. I don't think he was grimy. I think he actually wanted it, and he probably would have treated her right.
he would have. He would have. But like the way that scene went down when they were at the school festival, after he got that advice from Ultimate, it was kind of like, dang, bro, you just like force yourself upon her.
Yeah, I mean they didn't really show what happened. Like I think she was just easy prey.
What do you mean it showed happen? It showed her leaving with half her clothes on, uh, blood dripping down on the floor, and then
Oh, I didn't see any blood.
you didn't see any blood.
No, I don't remember that. I just remember her shirt being like halfway unbuttoned.
If you look at that scene of her shirt halfway unbuttoned, before she like walks out the door, you'll see her like bleeding as she walks towards the door, like when you pop your cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what that was symbolic of. They probably like they, they exaggerated so they didn't have to actually show you the sex scene, but you can kind of it was kind of implied afterwards that's what happened. But I mean, he kind of like which is I think is very weird that like out of all the girls that E2 ended up sleeping with, didn't sleep with Katsura.
He did at the end.
Yeah, at the end, but it was like you know how many
Which
girls
like
that
did he not have any parents or whatever? Like he like had that apartment all to himself?
I think so. I don't think it actually ever mentioned his parents.
Yeah, he had like his own apartment in high school.
It seemed like all of them like kind of living alone. Like
Well,
I
they
mean,
didn't
Katsura had
show like Katsura's parents, but like I think it was implied.
it was like she was like living with her sister. Oh, it did kind of mention his family when it was like E E2 did say he had a younger sister that comes and visits sometime, but his parents were separated. And then I don't think his parents lived there though, because like there was that one time right at the end when Sika was cooking him dinner. She was cooking him dinner at his apartment,
Yeah, I don't know.
but
Yeah,
he
this show is just like really dark, especially when I think the darkest part of the show might have been when Sakai shows up and Katsura is at Ito's apartment and Sakai's just like screaming at Katsura. And then Ito just randomly just starts making out with Katsura right in front of him.
I was like, oh, I was like, damn, that's like hardcore, especially when she had your kid.
That ain't right.
Yeah, it's like she's your baby mama right now, and you're just gonna make out with another girl right in front of her.
Which is yeah, because he kept flip flopping. He kept flip flopping. I honestly thought he should have been like with Katsura, uh, like that entire show. But I guess he was more comfortable with being with the Sekai. Um, but it was like, damn, he was ready to toss her away. Uh, just
He tossed every girl away.
yeah, but the other girls were fine being that. Like, Ultimate was like, oh, I didn't even know you. I didn't even think you saw me as a woman, so I actually like us doing it. She had no problem with it. Setsuna, she was moving to France. She didn't give a fuck. She was like, hey, look, I'm here to create some memories for myself because I'm never going to see you guys again. My parents got transferred to another country, so who could blame her? Um, but it was kind of weird how like they what was his name like Sawanaga after the school festival and after like Katsura was like, hey, look, I'm still E2's boyfriend. Forget about what happened. He basically got written out of the show. He had like no more scenes. It was like he went from like supporting character to like now not being in the show. Some of these girls kind of like went and disappeared.
Yeah, I don't know. This show just made me like it made me feel weird.
How did you feel weird?
It was just so dark, dude.
it was only dark like the last 4 episodes.
Just how heartless he was. And then when he was making out with Katsura right in front of Sekai, I was like,
Yeah.
dude. And they even had some like music you would hear in a horror movie playing in the background when he was doing
Yeah, I
that.
thought something was about to happen. I thought it was about to go down in that scene. But it was like also did he not notice her eyes though? Because Sekai noticed her eyes when she met her on top of like the snowy bridge. She was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, this, huh?"
yeah, yeah. No, I was
I was
agreeing with
like,
you.
so Sekai noticed something wrong. She was like, "Yo, there's actually something wrong with her." But Itou apparently did not notice her eyes or anything like that. I thought she was normal. Oh, he did actually. He was shaking her like, "Hey,
He
yeah,
just
you're all
didn't
right."
care. He's like, whatever. If this is the only girl that's gonna talk to me right now.
That was so funny because everybody blocked them. Like no one was answering their phone. I mean, I think though, like I didn't notice it the first time I was watching through, but the second time, or maybe I forgot, but how she was like talking to the phone and she was talking to herself, and no one was on the other line, but she was still pretending to be talking to Itou. I was like, yo, she's crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't down with that. Like I was cheering for her, but she just didn't. I thought she was gonna develop and like overcome all this rejection and bullying, but she just like
I
she was in
mean,
complete denial.
she was in complete denial, but can we really blame her for what she had to go through? Like she went through a lot. And that's putting it lightly. Like they were bullying her for her chest, and then all of them were bullying her, saying, "Hey, look, your boyfriend is sleeping around. Um, like, what are you doing? You're completely in denial." But then he's not even telling her any of this. So it's like, nah, what are you talking about? We're still girlfriend and boyfriend.
Yeah, but I just thought she would have wised up. That's what I was hoping for when I told you I hope she gets revenge, and I don't. She didn't. She killed Sekai at the end. She didn't really get revenge for all the stuff that happened with uh Ito, and then all the girls bullying her.
She didn't have an opportunity to. Sekai took out Itou.
And just even before that, she shouldn't have gone back to his apartment. She shouldn't have been talking to a blank phone. Like
She was processing her feelings. She was
I stopped cheering for her at that point when I saw she was just like talking to a blank phone. I was like, nah.
yeah.
Dude.
My thing is like when all this was happening, because I want to say it started happening in episode 9. Like, we went on for like 4 episodes where it showed like short clips of her like standing outside or standing by the tree. It was always like a 5 second scene of her like you can clearly see her mental capacity evaporating. But no one was like, "Yo, why isn't she at school?" Uh, it didn't like she was doing anything else besides like
She was at
being.
school.
Was that?
You talking about Katsura?
Yeah, well, it was like she was talking to a blank phone. Like you saw like first
She
she
was
was
still
talking.
at school doing all that committee stuff.
Was that?
She was still at school, like preparing for that festival and doing all the committee stuff.
Yeah, but it was weird though because you saw like the development between her sending messages and like her just typing the message but not sending them to like her calling, not talking to anybody, her phone being dead. But it was like by the time she was speaking to like a blank phone, um, this dude Itou was like messing around with anybody. No one was like, "Hey, look, why hasn't he contacted Katsura in like what looks like a week?" Like there was a time period that was going by where I was like, "Yo, nobody's even talking to her." I guess outside of the committee stuff, but even then, she was barely in those scenes.
Yeah, like I don't know how she didn't like take the hint.
But I mean, even still, Sekai robbed her of the chance of getting revenge by like killing him prematurely. Um,
Yeah, and I actually applaud her for that. I thought that was pretty badass that she just took him out like that.
it was, uh,
That's what he deserved, honestly.
yeah, it was kind of hard to tell that like, I don't know why he didn't take out the trash, but also I don't know what she expected him to do with that food when she destroyed it before she left.
What do you mean? Like when she zoomed in, like it zoomed in on the trash?
Yeah, like
Yeah, I
that
don't know. I don't know why they emphasized that.
because it was that was the home cooked meal she cooked. I guess the day before, a couple of days ago.
Yeah, but he
when she,
obviously was going to clean that up eventually. So, like, why was it such a big deal that it was in the trash bag?
I think it was. I think they wanted to be like, hey, look, well, that's the moment that put her over the edge because she was like, yo, he's not going to appreciate anything I do for him. I did a home cooked meal and look at it in the trash like it's worthless. Like this guy's trash. Uh, and I think
Yeah,
that's
and did he just text her like, "Hey, like Katsura can help you with that problem you're having." Like he wasn't even acknowledging that it was like a problem of his as well. He's like, "Don't talk to me about that." Like she like called to talk to him, and he's like, "Don't talk to me about that child you're carrying. I don't care."
yeah, that was super grimy. Like, hey, look, Katsura knows somebody at the hospital. I'm like, how does she know an abortion doctor? Like, she before before this Sabunaga dude, she never did anything with anybody. Now all of a sudden she has to connect at the hospital for an abortion.
I guess her parents had lots of connects. They were like getting her tickets and stuff a lot.
I can see that. Um, but also like I feel like her parents would be extremely worried if she had that conversation with them. Hey, do you happen to know when
I feel like her parents should have noticed that she's like her eyes were empty like that.
they should. Well, what it looks like. I mean, her sister didn't notice. We saw her sister like, "Hey, what are you doing up so late, washing the dishes or something like that?" Um, and her sister didn't
Still a
really
little kid
question it.
though. She
Well,
might not have
kids
picked up
change.
on it.
I mean, I would hope that like if you see anybody whose eyes were like full of life and then they look dead, you could be like 10 years old and be like, "Fuck," my older sister, her eyes look a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like she basically like shaved all her hair off. It was clearly like something had changed in her mental state. But I want to have that conversation with her parents went down. Hey, do you have any connection? Do you know anybody that's willing to give someone an abortion? What for? Oh, not for me, just for my friend. I mean, that should still be like, are you sure? And then they would want to come meet her, test her, make sure she's not actually talking about herself. Like,
Yeah, Ita didn't even want to talk about it. Like, Sakai's like, yeah, we gotta talk about your child that's inside me, and he's like, I
yeah,
don't know what to do about that. I'm in high school.
bro.
Figure it
My other
out.
things are like, that clearly could have been prevented with when she approached him in the classroom. Like he could have been like, yeah, let's talk about this after class, even though he didn't want to. He didn't have to argue with her in the middle of class. And another thing, throughout the entire show, every time, like when Katsura didn't want to talk to him, she would avoid him. She would not go in the train. She'd be like, "Let me take the bus home." When Sekai didn't want to like see him or she was like feeling bad, she would just skip school. This dude would be like, "Hey, look, you know what? Even though she's pregnant with my kid, I'm still going to go to the first period sitting beside her." Everybody avoided him when they were like didn't want to see him, and he was like, fuck it. I guess nothing's really going to happen." He clearly could have skipped class that day and prevented that conversation from happening.
Well, he avoided her after that.
It was too late now. She blurted out, "I have your child," in the middle of
Yeah, and he
class.
still found a way to avoid her. He like went to where that tree where it was like snowing and just was hanging out with Katsura, and she's like, "Who are you with right now?" And he's like, "We,"
Yeah, he was
and
like,
then he flipped it on her and like started screaming at her and hung up on him or
all
on
right,
the
but
guy.
I think that was like possibly that is definitely top three of the dumbest lines that was said in the show when they were arguing. He was like, "Well, if Katsura had my child, she wouldn't say that." I was like, "Bro, like what? Are you, like, what are you talking about? Why would you even say that? Like, imagine talking to the police and you're like, you know what? If I was with my wife, she wouldn't say we robbed this bank and put the money behind the house." Like he clearly gave himself up. He was like, "Hey, look, I know you suspect something of me. I'm telling you who I'm hanging out with on a silver platter." There was no reason to mention her name at all. It came so out of left field.
Yeah, dude. I don't know if I would watch this show again. Honestly, it didn't bring out like good feelings and emotions from me. I just thought it was like, dang, like the whole first half is like, dang, I feel really bad for Katsura, and then I'm like, well, Katsura's kind of being dumb now by just being in denial, and then and then
Rocky,
and then I was kind of like, okay, Itou, like he's just going through all these girls, like it's kind of funny, and then but then it got to the part where he knocks knocked up Sekai, and I was like, dang, you're just talking about like killing this kid and have no feelings about it.
I mean, he's a high school. What did you expect him to do? He was like, yeah, look, I don't know how to handle this. He got some help. He got some help from Katsura. But it was kind of like
I think my favorite part was when he got killed.
That was your favorite part?
I think it might have been.
I'm trying to think what was my favorite part.
Because there's just so many other parts that just disappointed me, like Katsura just like talking to a blank phone. That disappointed me because I wanted her to like kind of move on. She never moved on. Even at the end, even at the closing scene, she was just walking around with his head in a bag. She didn't move on.
Do you know how tough it is to get over your first love? Like you're asking her to get over her first love, who didn't even officially.
When you see that he's dead, you could have at least got over him. But she's carrying around the head. You would not be doing that. You're with your first love. You would not be carrying around her head.
But when he finally came around full circle, and he was like, "Oh shit, you're actually the one for me." Boom! That's when he got like his last words was like, "Yo, look, we're gonna be together." And then
she should have known that was some garbage.
Well, no, it looked like he was coming around to like being with her, but like he was trying to make
some other. That's only because that was the only option. If some other girl had come up and been like, "Hey, I'm free now," he'd be like, "All right, let me get with Katsura real quick, and then I'll come over there and get with you too." That's like what would have happened.
Possibly could have grown out of it. I don't know. He could have been like, "Hey, look, actually, I got a kid on the way. I need to be a little bit more conscious of what I'm doing."
Did he pretty much just told Sekai to kill that kid.
Did.
I don't think he was conscious about like taking care of the kid at all.
Well, no, I mean like conscious about not making more mistakes like that. Like, hey, like you know what? I don't want to have another possible pregnancy, so let me pull back a little.
Well, I just think that's because the first time, like, he didn't really know what he was doing and didn't take any precautions.
Yeah, I think that's what they said. She was like, yeah, at the beginning it was just kind of like hot and rushful. And then I guess they kind of like made the mistake at the beginning, which is tough. And then the other girls, after they found out that he still had a chance to get with Otome. Still had a chance, but she came over. All he had to do was admit that it was his kid, and they talked about it, and he still could have had one. But no, he was like, nah, I had nothing to do with that. And she was like, damn, you really like that. You lost me too. He messed up.
Yeah, he just turned into a trash character. Katsura didn't really redeem herself at all. I did like how Sekai like stabbed him like 20 times. I thought that was cool.
I don't see. He fucked up because why was his phone in his room? He should have had his phone on him. Nah. Oh, or maybe she placed it in the room because she knew his phone wasn't on him when she texted him.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how like that worked out, but he didn't have his phone on him. So when he went, said sorry, bye.
I have no idea why Sekai went to that rooftop.
Oh yeah, that's the only thing I wanted to say, dude. When I got that message, I'll be at the rooftop and it's from his number. I'd have been like, shit, I guess the police found him. Clear block. There is no way she should have went to that rooftop.
Yeah, because you're right. It could have been the police.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was like obviously with us watching it as like a third person. I definitely knew it was Katsura, but
yeah,
like being in that moment and then you get a text from that phone number after the person you like clearly killed, stabbed, and left for dead in his room. She didn't even try to get rid of the body, but it's understandable. You know, she's like a high school girl. She just like had a wrath of emotion and like killed this guy that she was in love with. Probably didn't know what to do, but no, there's no way she should have gone to that roof. I don't know, like I'll be waiting for you on the roof from a number that the guy you killed. Bro, you've been compromised. Get out of there. Block the number. Bro, she has a connect in France. Hit up Setsuna and be like, hey, look, some things went down. It turns out I can't live without you. Itou, he's still screwing other girls. I just can't be here right now. Can I come stay with you for a couple months? hop on the next flight out.
Yeah,
That's
they might have still been able to track her down, but that would have been a better idea than going to the rooftop.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they could have tracked her down, but like the police, they. I mean, Katsura found the body before the police, so obviously, like she had some time. Like this girl went home, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and got the text message. So she had some time to get out of there. Honestly, I want to know what her plan
Well,
was.
wasn't that the same night?
I thought it was because it showed her like laying in bed. So I don't know if it was.
Well, it was nighttime when all that stuff went down, so I don't think it was the next morning, unless it was like early.
But it was bright in the day when she killed him, or when she killed him on the rooftop, and it was sunset when she was floating off with the head.
Oh, I thought it was still nighttime. I don't know. You could be right.
We rewatched that scene, I guess. But even,
I don't know if I'm rewatching anything in the show.
I mean, I think at least the last two episodes have some rewatchability.
I might have picked Sekai as my favorite character if she just didn't go to that rooftop. That was so dumb. That was so dumb. I thought it's like the whole show. I was kind of like, all right, yeah, she's all right. Like I was kind of leaning towards Katsura, but then Katsura just like she just had terrible character development. So by not sticking up for herself at all, she was just completely spineless. So then I was like, all right, Sekai's kind of cool. And then Sekai stabbed him like 20, 30 times. I was like, oh, damn, dude, that was so badass. So I was like, all right, maybe Sekai is going to be my favorite character. And then she just she went like all the way up and then all the way like down within the same episode.
I mean, can you really knock her for making one bad decision?
Yeah, because that was so dumb. That was so dumb. I would essentially be saying my favorite character would be the dumbest character in the show.
No. I mean, I think it's dumber. Her Itou, like Itou, or Itou. I haven't pronounced his name. He made multiple dumb decisions.
Yeah, but none of them. I mean, he was
to be fair, the dumb decisions cost both of their lives. So
yeah. I don't know. I'd probably just have to go with your girl with Kiori. She might have been the best.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's hard because like there's really like there's no logical reason for her to go up on the roof. But I think that also like speaks to a bigger thing. Like she didn't really have a plan after like what she did. Like what was she planning to do after she killed him? She didn't call the police. She didn't turn his body in. She didn't like put herself in for murder. I guess she was just gonna go to school like nothing happened and carry his baby. So like I think her going to the roof was like
she cut open her stomach and like there's no baby in here.
Yeah, that was like she was like just like I thought it was a lie. But I'm sitting here like you would not see an actual baby inside of her.
Yeah, they showed her throwing up and stuff. She was definitely pregnant.
Yeah. Like there was multiple hints. But I think that was the cherry on top that let you know that like Katsura was indeed crazy because she thought she'd actually see a baby by cutting her open. But even with her decision to like go up on her roof, this girl had the murder weapon on her when she went to the rooftop. I was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I mean, it's good. It's good. Like she had the weapon to protect herself, because she didn't know she was going to use it. But like, you kept the murder knife on you. Like, come on now.
Who, Katsura?
No, Sekai.
Oh, I didn't notice that she had a knife either.
Yeah, she had a knife in her jacket when like Sekai was like, "Hey, I'm gonna cut you open." If you notice, like the scene before, Katsura grabs her arm because Sekai tries to swing at her with the knife. You can tell the knife is still bloody from when she stabbed Itou. So she had a murder weapon on her to defend herself just in case something went wrong with the roof. But it was like, come on now.
Yeah, I just
Now I don't know where Katsura got her weapon from. Like she had a fucking mini handheld saw. Like
yeah,
I guess she meant business.
yeah.
if
She
you
had like
really
a
think about it,
tactical military knife.
I don't even know if that was a fucking knife. That was like a handheld saw.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it though, I'm thinking it had to be the next day because what had to happen is she had to go to Itou's house, see his body dead on the floor, and you're not telling me she's just carrying around like this military handheld saw. So she had to leave his place, go get the saw, and then come back and then saw off his head, and then text her on the phone, meet me on the rooftop. Because she did not have like that saw just like walking around with her. Uh, she would not have known to like go to that place with that saw unless she planned to kill him herself. So it's safe to assume she did not have that weapon with her. She saw his dead body, left, got that weapon to go chop off, like cut off his head, and then bring that to the rooftop.
Yeah, I don't know. The show was just I mean, it was interesting for sure. Definitely had some twist in it that I didn't see coming at all. But I think I would have to give it like a 5.
Interesting, because that's actually the rating I would give it to, and I think on my anime list it gives like a 5.82.
Yeah, I
Uh,
saw that. But
and it's very weird because um there's definitely like so much more anime that is better than this show, but it's like what this show tries to do, you can't be like you could be like it's trash, but it's so weird to rate it because
it
it's
wasn't trash.
yeah,
It was just like it just developed into something I didn't see it going there at all. Don't know
see,
why he didn't just break up his with Katsura. Like he could have been fine. He could have been doing all that stuff and not had it. I don't know. And then he just like didn't give a shit that Sekai was pregnant, and he's like he told Sekai that he loved her repeatedly.
yeah, he was like I definitely like you better, I want to be with you, but when all the cards are on the table he was like damn, this actually isn't what I want.
And then I don't know. Yeah, I think I just have to give it a 5, meaning that like check it out. Like I would say I'm gonna rate stuff less than a 5 if I think it's not worth watching. So like you can check it out, but I wouldn't watch it again. I don't think.
I would I would rate it a 5 also, 5.5. uh Obviously it was my second time rewatching it, so I was able to catch up more on like on all the little things I didn't see the first time. um I think it's a good show for what it tries to do, and the show does not try to leave you with a good feeling, so it accomplishes its goal. Like if you come out of this show feeling happy, yeah, I mean, you might have to get yourself checked out.
Especially
Uh,
that scene where he just like makes out with Katsura right in front of Sekai.
yeah, that scene was gut wrenching. I was like, oh, this something's about to go down. I still didn't expect that to happen, but
I
um,
just thought he was like the most evil person in the world in that moment, especially with that like horror music going on in the background,
there was no reason for him to do that. Like,
just right in front of her, and she's carrying your child, and she's trying to talk to you about what to do with the child, and you're just like, well, I love Katsura because she's not carrying my child, and she's gonna put out for me.
yeah, and it was kind of like that was bad. I mean, in ways, it was kind of like he was trying to take the easy route. He was going to whichever route was the easiest for him, and taking care of a child was too hard for him. So he was like, "Hey, look, Katsura's right here." Um, Really, if he would have stayed with her like the entire time, this definitely would not have happened.
Yeah,
Uh, but also, if like Sekai didn't give him special training or get him to like, I don't know if she realized, but this dude at the beginning of the show said, "Hey, look, I'm fine with just staring at her and having her as a trauma on my phone." Um, I mean that was it. Like she literally could not have done anything, and he would have been staring at her like for the entire school year. Like that could have been prevented. She could have literally done nothing. No, she goes out of her way to befriend her. And then not only does she befriend her, she goes out of her way to be like, hey, look, I invited her to lunch so all of us can eat together so I can introduce you guys. Like she was like, because they didn't even see each other at school. There was no way. The only time they saw each other is when they were having lunch on the roof. So their paths didn't even cross except when they were taking the train. And he was not going to
I feel
talk
like
to
if
her.
you told Sekai at the beginning of the show, like, hey, don't talk to Katsura at all, because if you do, you're gonna end up killing Itou, and then Katsura's gonna end up killing you. She would have been like, "There's no way." Just from talking to her, there's no way that that's what's gonna happen.
To be fair, I mean, true,
It
true.
just
I,
had
I think
such a like just the way the story developed. Yeah, like you're saying, if she just never did on any of that, then he would have just stared at her, Katsura, from afar and never probably talked to her. So it's just
yeah,
crazy how much things escalated.
I mean, because it's like for example, if you tell someone, hey, look, don't go out in the street, don't go out in the street and get hit by a car. Like it's hard to tell someone to avoid a car. Like if you, I mean, obviously you have to cross the street, the car's coming at you, and the car's speeding, it hits you. It's hard to tell someone to avoid a car. If I tell you, hey, look, Matt, um, don't cut off your arm, go skydiving without a parachute. It's pretty easy for you to avoid that. You don't have to cut off your arm. You don't have to like sign up for skydiving lessons, and you don't have to jump out the plane without a parachute. And that's essentially what she did. She literally could have done nothing, and none of that would have happened. But the fact is, she went above and beyond to do multiple things she didn't have to do to put her in that situation.
I'm just already looking forward to whatever we're watching next because this one just I feel like it. I just
It
feel
was
like there's like a shadow like looming over me. Like whenever I think about this show, it's just so.
when you told me it was 12 episodes, I was like, fuck, it was totally 12 episodes. I thought I watched 24 episodes, like the way the anime played out. Like, but having it at 12 episodes, I felt like made it so much more impactful. It didn't feel too rushed. I mean, you clearly saw things spiraling down quick, but it was like a bowling, like a domino effect. Like each bad thing led to more bad things, which is pretty interesting to see it play out.
Yeah, I like jotted down a question that I had. I think Katsura just like went up and did something else, but I thought Katsura was supposed to be the one like pretty much guarding that area where everyone was like hooking up during the festival, the rest area. I thought she was like the one that was like at the table to like you had to pretty much go through her to get into that little tent or area where everyone was hooking up. So I would have thought that she would have seen Otome and Itou go in there together. But I
So
think she probably just got up and went somewhere for a minute and did something.
yeah, I'm not sure where the like the timeline lined up, but uh they went into the tent when she was on the stairwell and they were asking her to text E2 or Ito to come join them. Like when she was arguing with those two girls on the stairwell, that's when he was inside the tent.
Yeah, so she like just stepped away for a minute.
Yeah. And then I'm not sure how they got out though, because I thought she was back by the time they left, but maybe it wasn't.
It must have been pretty quick, I guess.
Which when they said, "Hey, look, we actually got a secret camera in the room," uh, like those other high school girls. If I was Otome, I would have dashed out that room. I'd have been like, "No, actually, dude, I would have just like gotten up in front of everybody and just smashed that projector."
Well, why did she care?
Otome was the one in there with Itou or Ito,
Yeah, but why
and
did she care if people knew about that?
because Sekai was, well, I guess you couldn't care, but like Sekai was in the room, and that's how she found out that uh, Ito was cheating on her with multiple. Like that was the one that was a scene where she found out that Ito was cheating on her with multiple girls, whereas like Ultimate could have kept that hidden.
Well,
She
at
could
that
have like
point,
smashed.
it was just Otome. It
Exactly.
wasn't at that point. It wasn't multiple girls yet. It was just her.
Yeah, but I mean that obviously started the trust issues, which cap like that sped up the process of him like hooking up with other girls. Because I think from that,
Which
that's when all the other.
the girl he was hooking up with in the classroom, that was the girl that liked the funny dude, right?
Oh, Hikari.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, yeah, she liked the funny dude. The funny dude didn't like her back, and
yeah.
then
I just wanted to make sure that was the same girl. That I,
yeah, it took me a while, like until the second scene they were together, that I figured that out. But
yeah.
it was the one was also super weird because she was. It didn't really. The show didn't really position her as like one of Sikai's friends, but I guess she kind of like stepped up to be her friend when Setsune left. Um, but it was like, to, to,
So I don't know how much of a flawed character she was. She might have been like one of the only ones that wasn't flawed. Because
I
she's just like, hey,
mean,
this one boy doesn't like me, but Itou, like, I can fool around with him. And then she actually hopped out as soon as, like, Sakai got pregnant. She's like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore.
all the girls kind of hopped out when she got when he got sick, got pregnant. But she was like, when they first slept together, she was like, "Oh, I can't tell Sika about this. I was supposed to come over and tell you to go see her, see how she was doing, and I told her I'd do that. But instead, I ended up sleeping with you." And then she was like, "You really are trash, Ito." And he was like, "Doesn't that make us both trash?" And she didn't disagree.
Yeah, and then he actually just pulled her in and, like, started hooking up with her
And then they went
again.
another round. So
Yeah. I thought that was funny. He's like, well, it can't be helped.
I mean, like at least at the bare minimum, all the other girls had previous crushes on him. She had no relation with him really. There was no
Well,
reason.
there's when he had like that foursome, like
Yeah,
those girls.
those girls just want to see what he was about. Like I respect that. And that was only a one time thing. I don't think nothing happened after that. I was like, oh look, one time, boom,
I
boom.
didn't really respect that one of them was already seeing another dude.
Yeah, that was kind of grimy. But she got peer pressured into it. She wanted to join the crew.
Yeah, but it was, they were giggling about it at like the schoolyard. They're like, yeah, we probably shouldn't see him again. And then the one girl was like, oh man. And then they're like, why are you so upset? You're the one with the boyfriend. And then they all just start laughing.
Because look, she was like, yo, she wanted something different outside of her relationship. The other girls are single, so they kind of have like they can get anything, right? They don't have no restrictions. Where she has that one restriction, so she was
Yeah,
like,
but
damn.
they're like, why are you the most upset about this? And then they were all just laughing about it.
Hey, sometimes this is how the
She was
cookie
just laughing
crumbles.
about being a slut, pretty much.
Look, that is how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. This show was not what I was expecting.
Which is exactly why I recommended it. I
Yeah,
was
you
like,
didn't really give me much to go off of. You're like, yeah, don't check out the description, just like jump into it. And I was like, all right. No, I even read the description. It doesn't really give you. It's like they're like, Ito has a crush on Katsura, but Sakai introduces them together, and they start this impromptu friendship. That's like all it tells you about the show.
yeah. So this actually, I think I got confused with another show. That you're not supposed to read the description. Uh, that I watched. It is not even worth recommending. Watching it just because I think I dropped it halfway through. But there was one of the animes I watched that you absolutely cannot watch the description because it spoils it. Um, and like the point, the best part of the anime is not being spoiled about what's actually going on. It wasn't this show though, which I couldn't remember if episode 11 and 12 it like spoiled what happened at the end, which is why I wanted to be careful with you not reading the description
Yeah,
because I want you to read that like, oh, Katsura gets revenge, and you're like, oh, of course she gets revenge, and then boom, not the revenge you expected.
yeah. She didn't. I didn't. I just didn't like how she was. Even after he's dead, she was still in denial.
I mean, somebody had to go to that cabin she rented out or got like tickets from for her parents. Yo, but the way she did my dude Samanaga when he was like, yeah, I gave away 3 months of bento for my sister to get these tickets. She was like, "What you thought this was? That was a one-time thing. I want you to forget about it."
It seemed like she wasn't even really present for that. She was like, "You need to forget what happened yesterday. Like that wasn't. I already forgot about it. I wasn't even really there while it was happening."
Yeah, that's what I was saying though. Like he traded 3 months away. Like he's done for his school lunch for the rest of the school year just to get turned down. But but look, hold up. And this girl Hikari, like no prior relationship to this dude.
He just
Ito.
wasn't taking the hint.
What's that?
He just wasn't taking the hint. The hint.
Who was it? Sawanaga?
Yeah.
I mean, but still, she had no prior relationship with Itou. Goes over there once to try to convince him to visit Sekai. Ends up sleeping with him multiple times. You telling me she can't hug up on Sawanaga? She can't forcibly like go out like, hey, look, I want you to dance with me. She didn't say, hey, look, I want you to dance with me at the school festival. Sawanaga did it with Katsura. Inami did it with Itou, even though she didn't really get a straight answer. This dude, this girl Hikari, was pining over this guy for the entire show, but never once. Every other character asked, like, at least once when they wanted something. She didn't ask not once. She just kept dropping them hints, and that's what her flaw was. And then that is she slept multiple times with Itou.
I don't know.
He was handing out the community D. He was for the streets. He belongs to the streets. That's what it was.
Yeah. I don't know. I just I felt like all the main characters were so flawed, and I mean the supporting characters were as well. So give it a 5. It gets a high 5.
It gets a 5.5. Hey, at least you like it better than Darling in the Franxx.
Yeah, just because I only finished that one because I saw the finish line. But if we weren't doing the show, I would have dropped it. If I wasn't like, hey, I gotta watch this show and talk about it with Christian. Like Gantz, I dropped at the beginning, but the Darling and the Franxx, I dropped it. I dropped that at the beginning. The Darling and the Franxx, I was like 90% of the way through it. So I was like, I can finish it out. I was only like 10% of the way through Gantz. I'm like, I'm not gonna finish out 90%. The rest.
I still need to rewatch that. I'll let you know when it picks up. But now School Days is pretty. It fits into like an interesting category just because it is an anime I'd recommend watching just because it has 12 episodes and because of the twist ending. I think it's different than other anime. At least other anime they try to kind of like leave you with a good feeling, whereas this job's animes leave you with a bad feeling. And I think this gives you a front row with, hey, look, people wanted Naruto to end with like Sasuke killing Naruto or like somehow like Naruto killing Sasuke. They wanted like other animes to end bad. This is what happens when you have a bad ending. When you don't pander to the crowd and you don't things don't end up expect you to happen. This is the ending you expect. So it's not like that bittersweet ending. It's that like, yo, man, it kind of made me feel like shit. Now it makes you rethink. Do you want these animes to like end pretty badly? Some of these animes are pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I'm just ready for the next one so I can like get rid of whatever lasting impression this one has left on me.
Sounds pretty good. So final rating for me, 5.5. Rating from Matt, 5. Even though it is that kind of rating, and you will see that if you look it up on my anime list, it is an anime that I would recommend watching. It's definitely different from most animes that you've seen. It is pretty sinister and dark, like you said. So that's your type of thing. That it is something that I would recommend watching. Just to see, like, just get a kind of feel of how dark anime can be. So with that being said, tune in next week for the next episode that we watch. Anime Bros out.
See you guys next time.